my favourite things. What's brilliant about this tune is that
you weren't on it.
Yeah, no, I am on this one.
God,
I am on this one, and I know that because I had to practice it for hours and hours and hours on end. I talked with Al about this one. What's great about this, apart from the fact that it's a British writer and he's a drummer, but he's also a mate of yours, isn't he, Tom? Steve Parry.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about.
Did you meet him at Leeds College?
No. I think I met Steve. So I did a tour many moons ago, a Blues Brothers tour, which was amazing. Steve did all the arrangements for that. I think in an earlier version of that show, he played played trumpet for it.
Does he play trumpet as well?
But Steve is another Al.
Like
He plays everything. He's an amazing arranger, plays everything.
Great drummer.
Like he's got his own studio now, which he's I think it was an old school that he's had converted into a studio. He calls it the Old School Studio. Brilliant. It's on Instagram. Check it out.
Is he the arranger for The Voice as well?
Yes, he's the arranger for The Voice, so he's busy with all that kind of stuff. But he's another whiz. He just like churns out this amazing music. It's always fantastic. Anyway, I think that's the first time I met Steve, was doing this Blues Brothers tour, and he was playing drums for it at the time. And once that tour had finished, he'd talked about he had his own big band, which is called the Big Band from Hell, because the charts were all amazing, but really pretty tough.
I can attest to that.
And I started playing in that band, and getting sort of used to his writing and all that kind of thing. And we played that piece. This is quite a long time ago. Anyway, fast forward to the recording. We're looking for something a waltz, something in 3/4, something a little bit different to the things that we've got on
maybe
there.
It's something that people maybe recognise melodically as well.
And I think it was at the time when both myself and Reuben were discussing the whole trying to make sure that we had some British writers and arrangers on there. And I suggested Steve's name, and when I got the sort of go ahead, get in touch with Steve, see if what we can get for him. I spoke to him, and it was another Tom Cubis moment. I think he did it while I was on the phone. He said, "I'll send you this, and I'll send you that, and I'll send you this." He sent me like 6, all the parts, all the scores, everything, while I was on the phone to him. And then we just brought it to rehearsal, and we picked which we liked the most. In fact, I think I said to him, "Can we have something in 3/4?" And he sent me 4 or 5 charts in 3/4, and that's what we settled on.
It's a great arrangement.
It's amazing.
It is, really good. What was it like in the mix?
Was I there?
I don't think you were.
No. I don't know because one of the days I couldn't get there until the afternoon.
Right.
I think you might have started early with that one.
Yeah, it was just one of those ones where for sure it was just working out the different sections, and because like I said, the thing is when you're recording this sort of music, especially that's so involved, ultimately you try and preserve entire takes, or so if you can get a piece in one take, that's amazing, but that's so rare. Usually you are kind of using certain sections, and I know there were, particularly on this one, a few little corners like that sax soli that was tricky.
So tricky.
And it was just, ultimately the thing is, you want the players to hear it back and feel great about the weekend, and because it was an amazing weekend and such great playing happened. But it was one where, we just took a little bit of time, but it was quite easy really in the end, because just sort of piecing it together out of, I think maybe we had 3 or 4 different takes to choose from, and just trying not to, it's never nice to do it bar by bar. If you can, you take full sections of things and it sounds a lot more real, and it's a lot more honest to what happened on the day, So, yeah, it was that, and then after that, the writing is so good, and it kind of it did itself really. It was just did an absolute blinder mixing it. So
this is another track as well where Joe Sykes really played a blinder as well.
Yeah,
because he did his homework on this. He was telling me when I spoke to him how he really enjoys playing this piece, but he had to do a lot of work on it as well.
Well, I remember him coming in with a suggestion where I think Steve had written that the sax soli happened along with just the bass. Is that right?
Something like that. And
That's how it'd been written.
Yeah, it's just bass and sax.
But then we tried with Joe adding the.
But I think we did it the other way
Something else.
around,
Yeah,
where Joe no
and
bass
saxes.
and saxes, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things that I was saying on the podcast the other day / this morning. That
Before you lent Tommy coat.
yeah, before I
why am I sat in Reuben's shirt?
before I slipped upstairs
You've
and
ruined
changed
the illusion now.
slipped into this so soft turtleneck.
It's a strong look, especially with your hair.
Yeah,
I thought Daniel Craig had
You
looked
look,
at
like
the
you look like a thinking man's
Pierce,
Bond.
Pierce Brosnan, please.
poor man's Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, for those not watching video but just listening to audio, just be aware that the fit is sublime.
It is. And Reuben has got a face for radio.
Anyway,
if
come on.
anybody ever has.
In all seriousness, it was the thing that I was saying of. To a point, it's great to try and you go into these situations recording music and you try and do the best by what's been written on the page or whatever. But it's also kind of cool sometimes to be a bit flexible with it. And if people have ideas, allow them to try stuff, and be a bit flexible. And thankfully, Steve was really cool like that, wasn't he? He was super open. I think I remember you going back to him on a couple of times, and we rehashed a bit the sax soli, and then there was
Al reworked it a bit,
and Steve was just super gracious and generous, and just whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's nice to know.
hopefully, he likes it, because it's a great track.
He loved it. Yeah, he's heard it. He loved it.
Good.
Also,
Yeah.
got to say, I know he sat right next to me, but I think Reuben plays an absolute blinder of a solo on that.
Oh yeah.
I
Definitely.
think that's one of my favourite solos on the album.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, high praise indeed there, Mr. Fowler.
That's very kind.
Only
He was not contractually obliged to say that, but I'll get you back later.
That's definitely worth the Greggs on the way home. That, I reckon.
Yeah.
sausage, bean, and cheese melt in my mouth.
I'd hope so.
Is that one of your favourite things, Tom?
What's one of your favourite things, Mark? I don't think you can say it on this podcast, can you?
No.
Right, come on, let's
I'm going
keep
to
it
say
clean.
it right now when we stop recording.